indicator as to whether or not there'll be a monster house. There may not be a monster house, it may be 3 or more items and by some miracle it's not, which is cool. But, you know, even if it's one of those super long corridor rooms that happen to generate that we've seen before, and there's a lot of items in them, there's 3 or more items in them, that's still probably a monster house, and because the room's bigger, more Pokemon will appear. So, yeah, careful, because it sucks to deal with that. Rest is another pretty useless TM in here. Even in mainline, it's good for link battles. You know, it's good for battling other people, but in the main game, you may as well just use a potion. Unless you're doing one of those challenges where you go, okay, no healing by potions, or no Pokemon Center challenges, which are interesting, but okay. So Rhydon's Fury Attack there is a little scary. If you get a hold of it yourself, Fury Attack is just like Bullet Seed, where it's crazy useful. Except I think Bullet Seed is definitely better because it's ranged. And it has grass typing, which is pretty good. So, I mean, it's pretty fun to snipe things yourself with Ice Beam. You know, when you hit them, but I mean, Ice Beam's very useful, but it has APP, which that's not fun. But as you know, Groudon is going to be the boss of this dungeon, and Groudon is a ground type. Really not that bad. He hits hard, but even then, of course, the attract strategy will just destroy him. Smokescreen will also work pretty well. I'll be honest, I was a little intimidated going into Mystery Dungeon 2 and not having attract for any of it. I don't know if it's in the game or not, but I couldn't find it at all. And having to fight the bosses the legitimate way. But that made them so much fun because, you know, oh cool, I got all these seeds, these awesome seeds. Orbs don't work on bosses, but seeds do, so let's throw a cross-eye seed at him so he can't hit anything. And he's just going all over the place. Okay, well, let's use a Vile Seed. Or is it? No, it's a Violent Seed on myself to maximize my attack and special attack. Okay, he's ran and he's gone all the way over to that corner, but it's cool because I got Bubble Beam. I can snipe him and just do over 100 damage. You can break the bosses in Mystery Dungeon 2. You can absolutely destroy them. And I mean, here you can as well, obviously. That's what we've been seeing. 301 damage. Pretty good. So, non-traders there, I think we've seen it before, but it's pretty good. You know, makes it so you can't hurt your allies or yourself, I think. I didn't read the rest of it. When you're confused. I don't think you can hit yourself when confused in this game anyway, so... But you may think that it's worth, in this dungeon, just going straight for the end. You know, ignoring all the enemies and just going up to the next floor via the stairs, and that's alright, that's fine, but it'll just make this, the next dungeon a bit harder, and that dungeon itself is already pretty hard, because of a few mechanics, so, you know, if it's all up to you, of course, but I personally just go through the dungeon the way that I already have, always have, for Magma Cavern, and the next dungeon is when I just go straight for the stairs every single floor. Granted, that's because I'm not grinding for post-game. So, yeah, I don't know how difficult post-game is. Stuff like Wyvern Hill, that's the only post-game area I can think of. Or that 99 floor tower. That gives you nothing when you get to the top of it. No rest points, nothing. Which is fantastic. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not. I think it's like Prism Tower or something it's called. Now, Magma Cavern's theme is alright. It's very intimidating. As if, you know, like, you probably shouldn't be here. No, it's not super intimidating, like, you're gonna die. It's just sort of like, alright, well, this is gonna be dangerous, let's stay on our toes. It uses the same motif as Mount Freeze. This little part here, this trill, is used in... Oh, and this little melody here as well, used in Mount Freeze, which is strange. They're back-to-back dungeon... Well, as back-to-back as you can get between all that filler. Oops, bump the mic, sorry. But the... Tonally, they're both different. Visually and thematically, they're both different. They're polar opposites, which maybe that's what they're going for. It's like the polar opposites, but then wouldn't you just do that for Mount Blaze? You know. I guess what really should have happened is that this dungeon, Magma Cavern and Mount Blaze should have swapped themes. Because Mount Blaze is certainly more... Well then, Mount Thunder would be the outlier. Because it doesn't have this motif at all. But I was going to say, because Mount Blaze has a much more epic sounding song than this. And if you lay a finger on Mount Thunder, then I'll tear your brains out, so... I love Mount Thunder's theme a lot, and if they change it to this low motif, I would not be happy. So anyway, we're finding golems here. It's not the same golem that went into the dungeon earlier with Blastoise and Octillery and got wiped out because they're absolutely no one. I do really love how this dungeon looks though. It's not very memorable, but it certainly looks nice. Like, I love the glowing lava or magma just seeping through the ground, and in the walls the cracks, and it's very nice. But as you can see, because I'm Squirtle, my defense is sky high. You know, the Sand Slash. It is only using Scratch, but it's you know, not damaging me very much at all. So these tiles here, these magma tiles, fire types can walk over them, obviously. So if you've got a fire type, enjoy being stopped every 2 seconds while you're running for the game to say, hey, you want to go over this tile? Which, no, I don't. But I know that pain all too well with the being a water type and all. So I think this is the last floor before rest point. So, or before the rest point, so... Yeah, that is strange, huh? Disable in this game just paralyzes you. Which is, yeah, very weird, but... That's definitely better than losing all of your PP in the move. Although Disable doesn't do that, it just makes it so you can't use that move for a while. I'm thinking of Spite. which is a terrible move, and I hate Spite so much, and we'll certainly be hating that soon. We'll be complaining about that soon. So this is the most trouble I've ever had dealing with a Groudon. I wasn't going to use a Max Elixir and use Water Gun because I know the rest floor is the next floor, so isn't much point in wasting a Max Elixir here. And take a swig of water while we hopefully find the stairs. Here they are. Okay. So I guess I'm ignoring the stairs. Oop, I'm the mic, I'm sorry. I'm ignoring the stairs. The rest of the area is right there, you know it is. There we go. Or not, there's more than I thought. It's either the next floor or the floor after. I can't remember. Now, one thing I would like to know is the quality of the other Mystery Dungeon games. Obviously, I haven't played Gates to Infinity or Super Mystery Dungeon, and I plan to one day. But I'm referring to the other Mystery Dungeon games, like the Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, or Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon. There's probably others that I can't think of, but yeah, Mystery Dungeon isn't its own franchise, it's sort of just tacks on to other franchises, which is strange, but whatever works, I suppose. So Onyxes, you know, they're big and scary, like in mainline, but they go down very easily to their weaknesses, just like in mainline. So here we get Mega Drain, which is only has one less PP than Absorb, so we're definitely getting that. Mega Drain is just more powerful than Absorb, it's the same thing. Plus, I think you actually heal more, because I think the amount that you would heal from Absorb is like half the damage. Well, let's see here. 25. Okay, it's like a sixth of what we did there. Mega Drain. Oh no, that we did just use Mega Drain. Whatever. It heals more than Absorb. That's all that matters. 23. We're still going well. But Mega Drain is definitely better than Absorb. Just get it instead of Absorb. So here we're in a room with 3 items, but there's no monster house, so it's pretty lucky. Am I giving this to Henry? No, I gave it to myself. Well, why don't I just eat it off the ground? Okay. I do have to mention I did record this a few weeks ago. The gap between recording this and commentating over it isn't as bad as, you know, the first, or the other recording sessions, especially the 4th one. But it's been... Oh god, when did I record this? I want to say late March. Maybe even mid-March, wow. Yeah, so I'd say it's been like a month and a half since I recorded this. maybe less, but that's not as bad as the gap between. Okay, so I think that was the beginning of February to the beginning of April. So yeah, that was 2 months. See, I'm not that bad. I'm not terrible. But now that Halo's 2's done, you'll know at this stage, but you'll be getting this all week. Just Mystery Dungeon. Until it ends on either Thursday or Friday. Which, I mean, depending on how long I decide to cut each episode. Which will be longer than normal. Like, maybe 24 minutes or so per episode. You know, hopefully that can end on Thursday. I don't know if that's the case with anyone else who does Let's Plays, but or just recordings, but and schedules them. But when all the footage is done and all the editing is done on a Let's Play, and you know it's all over, but it still needs to go up on its normal schedule. I'd kind of just think, come on, you know, just let it be out, just let it be finished. I don't know if anyone else feels that, but I certainly do. 23 floors. Quite the journey. So completed. Here we go. Alright, so Magma Cavern Pit is nowhere near as many floors as 23. There's maybe 6 floors, so it's certainly more floors than we're used to on a post-rest area dungeon part. That was a mouthful. Anyway, we're finding Steelix here. I think you can only find Onyx and Steelix on these floors. I think. Which is really useful actually, because they're both pretty easy to kill and they both give a lot of experience. So just in case he wants to level up a bit, which I think I am doing here a little bit, I'm sort of just checking more rooms than normal in order to find any Steelix that I can kill them. So I don't. Looking back on it, I really didn't need to, because you know, I'm already pretty decently leveled. I could beat the game at this level, and you could too, and most people could, assuming that they played this game before. So yeah, we're getting to the end of it here, this dungeon at least. Let's see. I wonder where we are. I'm certain we've come quite far already. I don't remember if this was just a cutscene for this floor, which is a one-time occurrence, unless it happens in the post-game. Which, yeah, I think it is. I think it is just a one-time occurrence, and there's more floors after this. But anyway, Charizard and Tyranitar have been knocked out by Groudon. Alakazam, though, is nowhere to be seen. Alakazam is still battling Groudon. Why do we gotta hurry? Be careful. Yeah, that's... Oh, there weren't even any floors after that. That's why I was thinking, okay, there's only Steelix on this floor and Onyx. Because there's only one floor in the second half of the dungeon. Weird. This opponent is no laughing matter. Here it comes. Coming? Where? Maybe... Was he defeated? It's our turn next. I'm not going down without a fight. Let's do our best. Yeah, no words or anything, we just start fighting Groudon, and I really love that he's off screen to begin with, so you can't even, you know, unless you know who he is, you won't be able to tell what you're fighting yet. Anyway, quick snipe there. Again. Again, he starts off very far from you. I get a few pot shots there. And yeah, same fare as usual. Attract. And the rest is history. We know how the rest of this goes. Water gun. Yeah, his defense and special defense is very high, which just means that the battle will take a little longer. Yeah, he's got ancient power as well, which can be pretty dangerous, because you know it's pretty decent in terms of damage, but obviously it has the rare chance to buff all of his stats after a use of it. So yeah, it sucks when that happens. Because it can and will happen. So. And down he goes. Let me get to level 29. Henry doesn't get a level up. Henry doesn't deserve a level up. And here they are. I don't exactly know how that worked, how they just disappeared and then came in. Seems a little convenient, but oh, I guess it's the badges or something, because when you rescue a Pokemon they get teleported out. Are you okay? Yes, fine. We'll be fine, but we must get out immediately. What about Groudon? Will it be okay? Your concern is unneeded. It will awaken soon enough. It had lost control only because it was enraged. It should calm down. Well, another quake. Out, quickly.